What if I told you that a law written in Europe could silence your voice here in America? That's exactly the concern raised in a congressional hearing led by Chairman Jim Jordan. Today, I'm breaking down how Europe's Digital Services Act, the DSA, poses a direct threat to American speech innovation and even our First Amendment rights.
Mr. Price, has anything in the Digital Services Act changed in the last year?
No, sir.
Hasn't been amended, hasn't been changed at all?
No, sir.
So everything Mr. Breton wrote 1 year ago today, well, August 12, 2024, that's still in place, where he said to an American running an American company about an interview that was yet to happen, future happening interview, threatened this individual. None of that nothing in the law has changed that would change what actions this individual took.
Nothing in the law.
Just because Mr. Breton's gone doesn't mean Ms. Verkunen can't do the same darn thing, right?
Precisely.
Yeah, and that's the concern. Mr. Price, is this statement, we need to take back our country, is that statement hate speech?
We don't really know what hate speech is. It's so vague, and that's the problem with it. I wouldn't regard that as hate speech.
Well, you may not, but the EU regulators do, because they had a workshop on May 25th where, this is part of our investigation, material we'd subpoenaed, they gave us this information. They said it is hate speech. That's a concern, right?
Yes, sir.
And it can be made by an American and be termed hate speech, and there can be some ramifications for Americans' First Amendment liberties. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Then came the big question. Is the phrase "we need to take back our country" hate speech? According to U.S. values, of course not. But EU regulators, they said yes, labeling it as hateful. Think about that. A phrase used in American politics by both Democrats and Republicans could be deemed illegal speech overseas, and it could ripple back here. This is exactly why free speech defenders are so alarmed. Next, Jordan dug into the idea of trusted flaggers. These are NGOs and private groups chosen by the government under the DSA. Once approved, they can demand platforms take down content. If companies don't comply, they face massive fines, up to 6% of global revenue. Imagine government-approved watchdogs deciding what you can post online. That's not freedom, that's censorship with a European stamp of approval. Before I continue, if you believe free speech must be protected, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's keep exposing the truth together.
Oh, so people that the government approves tell companies what they can allow on their platform and what they can't, right?
That's correct, sir.
And the same people who approved these folks are the same people who conducted the workshop and said, we need to take back our country as hate speech. Is that fair to say?
That's correct, sir.
Yeah, and that's the concern. And what happens if these trusted flaggers approved by the government, the same government that says we need to take back our country as hate speech? By the way, I think that statement is made probably more by Democrats right now than Republicans. I think the head of the Democrat National Committee made that statement like 3 months ago at a big Democrat rally or something they were having. So the same people say that's hate speech, approve the trusted flaggers, who then tell the platforms what they can and can't have on their platform. And if they don't agree with what the trusted flaggers say, there's civil penalties. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Both under national law and the DSA, investigations begin, and there's a whole process that can result in enforcement and then ultimately crippling fines for companies.
And those crippling fines, those civil penalties can be what, 5%, 10% of global revenue, depending on the Online Services Act or the DSA?
Under the DSA, 6%.
6%? Wow, that's a lot of money because these are big companies, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Farage, it's not just civil penalties, though. And this is where it gets really scary. Because my understanding is there's criminal penalties, and I think in 2023 in the United Kingdom, there were 12,183 arrests for offensive posts. 12,000 people arrested for things they posted online that some trusted flagger approved by the government, the same government that says what's being said at the Democrat National Committee, we need to take back our country, is hate speech. That's a scary scenario. Is that right?
Yeah, they're massive statistics, and I mean, some of it comes under non-crime hate incidents.
And it gets even worse. In 2023, the United Kingdom saw over 12,000 arrests for so-called offensive posts. People literally got knocks on their doors for something they tweeted. Some were even warned for silent prayer outside abortion clinics, what they called performative prayer. Just let that sink in. Silent prayer being criminalized. That's the chilling effect of vague hate speech laws.
What is hate speech? How do you define hate speech? And that's the problem, isn't it, with all of these laws?
Yep.
That we finish up in a position where local police forces, etc., have to choose their own interpretations. I think, again, as I said to you earlier, the timing of this hearing today is perfect because the head of the Metropolitan Police, who arrested Graham Lenihan at Heathrow Airport, he's thrown the ball back now to the British Home Secretary and the government to say, please tell us what is this law intended. What are we supposed as the police to do? So I think we're going to have a much more rapid debate about this. But my worry is it may get worse, if I may quickly.
Yep.
Because the Labour government now are intending to pass a law that has a definition of Islamophobia. They're intending to put that into law. And that effectively will mean that criticism of a religion, mocking of a religion, would become an offence. And that's totally against everything.
Well,
because, we've always given the Pope a hard time.
Yeah.
We've always given the Archbishop of Canterbury a hard time. So we're finishing up kind of with two-tier law and two-tier justice.
Well,
and that's very
I
concerning.
had one other question I'd like to give for maybe you and Mr. Price, if I could. Speaking of religion, tell me what performative prayer is. This is something we've seen and we've discovered in our investigative work. Maybe we'll start with Mr. Price, then go to Mr. Farage.
Yes, sir. We have a client at the moment who's been prosecuted or was arrested in Bristol for a Christian pastor preaching about the differences between Christianity and Islam. He was then assaulted by a group of people identifying as Islamic people. The police arrived and they arrested him, not the people who assaulted him. This is the state of play in the United Kingdom in terms of free speech. And unfortunately, across Europe, I have a whole file of cases here where people have been arrested for criticisms of Islam, where they've been prosecuted. So things are getting pretty bad.
Yeah, that extends to abortion clinics, doesn't it? And the abortion debate in Britain and Europe is different to the abortion debate in America. It's in a different place. Mm-hmm. But we have seen people warned or arrested if they've been seen to be praying outside abortion clinics, even if they're doing it silently. Hence, it's performative in the sense they're doing that. I'm afraid you now have to be a certain distance away from one of these clinics. But if other members of the public object and say that your praying there is causing them psychological harm, well, the police may intervene.
Finally, the hearing exposed the heart of the issue. Who decides what's acceptable speech? In Europe, it's the government and its hand-picked flaggers. But in America, it's supposed to be the people, protected under the First Amendment. If these European standards creep into our system, our liberty is at risk. Once the government decides what's disinformation or what's hate, open debate disappears. This hearing made one thing clear. Europe's speech laws don't just stay in Europe. They spill over into America, threatening innovation, free debate, and the very foundation of our democracy. If we don't push back now, we risk handing over our First Amendment rights to foreign regulators. Thanks for watching. If you value freedom of speech, make sure to subscribe, share this video, and drop a comment below.